Get free tech advice for your business from O2 Gurus. Search O2 Business for more.
Hey guys, welcome to BTech. It's Basil here. I've got an Apple Watch to my left, a Huawei Watch to my right. Now these two are probably two of the best looking smartwatches around. The Huawei Watch is going to be available in a range of styles, but I've got this metal link strap style right here. Round display versus kind of rectangular display. Two very expensive smartwatches as well. We're going to start off by telling you a little bit about the design. Like I said, you'll be able to get the Huawei Watch in a range of styles with leather strap and of course this link metal strap right here. You can see the round display. I think it's around 400 by 400 pixels, giving you a pixel density of about 280 in that region. It's a really nice looking screen. It's not as thin as I remember it from IFA, maybe because I've got it alongside the Apple Watch, which is actually quite a slender device. This is the larger of the two variants, the 42mm strap one. It runs Android Wear, so it's a fundamentally different operating system, and as of late it's now supported by iOS devices. Pricing and release hasn't been 100% confirmed for Europe, but it should ship in 2015. If I quickly talk you around the Apple Watch, it's just as complicated. You can get it in two sizes, 38mm and 42mm I think it is. You can get it with a range of different straps. The finishes and straps dictate the pricing, so there's no point me reeling all those off. What I can tell you about is how the two stack up on my, well, masculine kind of wrist. They're still really big. I've got slender wrists, but even the Huawei Watch doesn't look like it's necessarily as small as I'd want it to be if I had any smaller wrists than I had. You can see the link strap has a little bit of room, but obviously being linked you can take them out, so that's not where my gripe is. It's just a pretty thick device. It does still look incredibly elegant. The design, attention to detail is great. The cold steely feel in hand feels super. Android Wear itself is a pretty simple UI to get to grips with, but it's not quite as fully featured as the Apple Watch user interface. There's a lot of vertical scrolling, as you can see, to swipe through your notifications, and you can swipe them out of the way at will. You can expand on them as well by swiping through the other way. On the round screen, I have to say it looks a lot better than it does on the rectangular screens of other devices like the Sony Smartwatch 3. I can pull down from the top and I can access some notification controls and various other elements, including the settings. If I want to change the watch face, I can just long press and swipe through my options, and Huawei's customized that to give you a fair few round watch faces, which is always nice. As far as button configuration goes, there's a heart rate monitor around the back, and you can see there's that button around there. I'm actually going to try and take it off my wrist so that I can talk you through it in a little bit more detail. You've got that round watch face, you've got some dials etched into that metal, you've got the body of the device itself and that heart rate monitor around the back, along with pins for what we assume will be a charging connector. So that's the Huawei Watch. Took a look at it at MWC. Now have a closer look at it, directly comparing it against the Apple Watch, which has two buttons on the right hand side. One quickly brings up your quick shortcuts. A little bit redundant, to be honest. It would be a much more useful as an action button, but for action stuff you can force press, which is actually a new feature that we're expecting to see on the new iPhones. There's also a rotary dial on the right hand side, and it's a crown that feels and looks really good. Very natural interaction. If I quickly take it off, you can also see I've got the sport version with a sport strap and a kind of matte finish around the black metal. There's that heart rate monitor around the back, and ultimately it's really decent design for both of these. What's going to separate them is how much you like interacting with apps standalone. The Apple Watch supports applications and of course Apple Pay, thanks to the NFC on board. That means even when your device isn't connected to your smartphone, you can still have some rudimentary app support. The Huawei Watch runs Android Wear by contrast, so it's going to be much more reliant upon your phone to get everything, well, directly to it. Basic functions will be supported without connection, but they won't be quite as extensive as those of the Apple Watch. So that's been a pretty quick comparison between these two of the most premium smartwatches around. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, then click that like button. Of course, if you like BTech in general, subscribe. That's how you're going to stay on top of everything we do. Thanks for watching.
Get free tech advice for your business from O2 Gurus. Search O2 Business for more.